You thought we were done talking about Twitch and the DMCA. Sad but true, we're going to deep dive into this like nothing else matters. So let's get into it. Hi there. My name is T. Morris. You might know me as the T Monster from Twitch, or as christened by YouTube's Markiplier and his Kick Club on one fateful night, Twitch Dad. I've been leaning pretty heavily into that last moniker lately, and thought it was a good time to take some of that dad-intensive knowledge, backed up by some titles I've seen in my day as a writer, and delve into subjects that catch my interest and warrant a closer look. When starting a YouTube series, though, you always ask, where do I begin? And I did have a really good discussion topic to cover last year, but I felt like I waited too long to cover it. However,
life finds a way.
As I said earlier, I have a Twitch channel, and my own adventure in streaming, the good, the bad, and the ugly, inspired me to write Twitch for Dummies. Thank you, by the way, for all those Amazon reviews. Feel free to drop one after you've read it. Since 2017, I continue to grow as a streamer and try to keep up with what's going on, both in the streaming community as well as the platform itself. And it's safe to say Twitch has had problems of its own during a pandemic.
Quarantine while BlizzCon, the annual gaming convention, people know what BlizzCon is. You don't need to tell people Blizz. That's patronizing. Was held over the weekend, and they booked Metallica to play. Just one problem: while Blizzard cleared the rights to stream their music, the hosting platform Twitch didn't, and partway through the song, they panicked and switched the music. It's subtle, but see if you can spot the moment it happens.
Wow. First thing, let's file away that it was Metallica who got wrapped up in this. Just hold on to that. You'll find out why later. While this and other instances like this have been something of a running joke on Twitch for the past, year, it's a good idea to know where all this started. So the year is 1998, and Congress is trying to wrap their collective geriatric brains around this newfangled technology fad involving vacuum tubes that is called the Internet. Sidebar, the Internet can date its early development all the way back to the 1960s as part of a Department of Defense project that kept computers connected on a network in case of a nuclear attack. True story. Thanks, Cold War! To show they cared and were hip to technology, Congress signed into law the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA, which criminalizes production and dissemination of technology, devices, or services intended to circumvent measures that control access to copyrighted works, commonly known as digital rights management, or DRM. It also criminalizes the act of circumventing an access control, whether or not there is actual infringement of the copyright itself. In addition, the DMCA heightens the penalties for copyright infringement on the internet. In layman's terms, that means someone just can't go to a site, find some media that they like, and then say, "This is exceptional content. That's why I'm using it in all of my print materials for my corporate year-end review. I'll also be using it in a public presentation where I get a cut of the ticket sales at the door, and I may be turning it into a coffee table book." I have no idea, but I do know that I won't be compensating you, the artist, because you put it online and therefore you must be giving it away for free. Additionally, if you are the platform showcasing said media, the offender, not the platform, is held accountable. This kind of copyright violation happens to this day. This is legislation that matters, really matters, to content creators of all backgrounds. I'm not saying the DMCA is perfect, but I am saying it's the law. If you really want a more in-depth breakdown of the DMCA, take a look at this video from Lindsay Ellis featuring Legal Eagle called Into the Omegaverse. But be warned, this video is going to lead to other videos that are going to take you down a wild ride of a rabbit hole. But at the end of that, you will have a better understanding of the DMCA and how it works. Now, let's go from the fall of 1998 to the summer of 2020, where streamers found themselves issued DMCA takedowns as well as penalizations from Twitch for content that was several years old. DMCA takedowns that once numbered 50 a year for streamers were now in the thousands on a weekly basis. And what has been come to known as the DMC apocalypse, Twitch, both the platform and the streamers, are trying to make sense of it all. But this isn't rocket science. This is hubris. When I took my first steps into Twitch as a viewer, I went exploring and I learned a lot about chat interaction, etiquette, and the art of multitasking. But one of the first things I noticed about Twitch right off the bat was something it had going for it that my other creative outlet, podcasting, never had: music. Channel hosts were playing a wide array of Spotify playlists as their backdrop music: electronic, jazz, metal. It was really cool. And I gotta admit, it was fun watching these games take on an entirely different atmosphere based on the personal soundtracks that these streamers were providing. But I had to stop and ask, hold on, do any of you have permission to play this music? I started asking streamers this, and no one had a straightforward answer. The three most common answers I got, though, were, yes, I'm paying for a Spotify subscription, therefore I'm granted permission to play music on my stream. Bruh! Remember that YouTube case where the judge ruled that the music in the background was fair use? Yeah, bruh, that! And that's why it's okay, bruh! Because the music's in the background, bruh! Bruh! Bruh? Other streamers do it. Thanks for the question. I appreciate you. GG's. Yeah, that last one, I heard a lot. Exactly why did I find this little detail about Twitch so unnerving? Well, I've been podcasting since 2005. And even back then, the Recording Industry Association of America, or the RIAA, made it clear to podcasters that if you wanted to use music in your podcast and you didn't have permission to use said music, you were in violation of the DMCA. Podsafe music, as we called it, was deemed as music released under Creative Commons, purchased via royalty-free user agreements, granted permission by the rights holder, or composed by the podcaster themselves. If your music did not fall under any of those categories, you didn't use it. Period. And yet, somehow, Twitch was able to sidestep all of this. After I started work on Twitch for Dummies, I knew I was going to have to cover this issue. Even with my technical editor being a musician himself, I found the gray area streamers were navigating to be best described as zero visibility gray. The amount of looking the other way Twitch was doing was mind-boggling, even going so far as to offering platform-approved extensions that share your current playlist with your audiences. And yes, you can still download these extensions off of twitch.tv today. But I knew I would be asked about this. So, in Chapter 14, after a lot of research, a lot of soul-searching, and quite a few editorial passes, this is how I summed it up. The wiggle room, where Twitch, Spotify, the RIAA, and artists, on a whole, not all mind you, agree on, is that the gamers are simply listening to their own music instead of the soundtrack provided by the game, which Twitch and streamers are allowed to play as it is part of the game featured. That's fine, provided the music is played softly, strictly as background music. The host is talking over the music. The music is not the focus of the discussion. Even if there are lapses in this casual agreement or understanding, depending on how you look at it, you can play your Spotify mix, even share the tracks you're listening to through specific widgets that Twitch and various overlay templates from Streamlabs offer, without any fear of repercussions. It is when you offer up your freshly made content as a rerun or a VOD, video on demand, where Twitch steps in with algorithms that looks for protected music and drops the audio out. Twitch even flags the video with a tag saying there is muted audio in the clip, and on replaying the stream or clip, the muted audio is highlighted in red. Once the protected song ends, audio is restored. This is how Twitch and the music industry work together to allow streamers to listen to what they like while honoring copyright laws. And while you walk this line with the RIAA, artists can always hold broadcasters accountable under the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. If this happens, Twitch will carry out a minor punishment for the first offense, going into more stringent penalties for more offenses. Still, it's good to be aware of how the relationship between Twitch, the music industry, and artists stands at the time of writing this book. This relationship could change at any time. That was written at the end of 2018 and published in January 2019. Now fast forward to the summer of 2020. Welcome to Any Time.
Remain calm! All is well!
Twitch's first response was to tell streamers across the platform, and yes, that included their top earners, to delete any and all clips, even ones generated by their fans, that featured copyright-protected music. One clip at a time.
Remain calm! All is well!
Workarounds developed by the streaming community helped out streamers with a huge backlog, but then things got complicated when streamers started to receive takedowns and penalties for clips that featured music from the actual game.
All is well!
And then there was the 2020 virtual edition of TwitchCon, where high-profile streamer and musician T-Pain turned the event's after-party over to a Twitch DJ who promptly spun, wait for it, copyright-protected music. Within minutes, Twitch quickly switched over to a still image because, they didn't want to receive a DMCA takedown for their own event.
Remain...
Where I am completely dumbfounded as a content creator is why it took Twitch so long to finally face this issue. Twitch CEO Emmett Shear is 37 at the time of this recording, making me 15 years his senior. I've heard Emmett Shear speak, and I've got nothing but respect for his accomplishments with Twitch and online media streaming. I mean, he is smart, wicked smart, like Yale University smart. But here's where I'm scratching my head over this major malfunction. When it comes to the DMCA and the online distribution of music, there's only one court case you need to cite. Metallica v. Napster Incorporated. Remember Metallica from the beginning of the video? The Monsters of Metal made headlines in 2000 with this landmark case, when I was in my 30s and Shear around 17. Both of us more than capable of figuring out what this was all about. Digital distribution of music online without permission or compensation given to the artists. And Metallica won the case, shutting down the free file sharing system and becoming champions against unlawful distribution of music online. That clip ain't getting old anytime soon. Now, while it would be easy for that earlier argument to be made of, yes, I'm paying for a Spotify subscription, therefore I'm granted permission to play music on my stream. That is a gross misinterpretation of the permissions you really have. A paid Spotify subscription gives you permission to play and listen to an ad-free stream. It does not grant you permission to broadcast what you are listening to. And before you come at me with, "What's up, bruh? Me again. So what if I'm listening to Spotify in the car, bruh, and I got the windows down? I mean, seriously, bruh, am I broadcasting?" There is a reasonable expectation that if you are listening to music in a public space, people in your immediate vicinity will be able to hear you. However, if you take that music and you put it on a platform or a device or a network that takes your audio beyond your immediate vicinity, then you're broadcasting. And since Twitch takes your stream and puts it out on a global network, you are broadcasting. In 2007, 7 years after Metallica v. Napster, and at the age of 24, Shear would partner up with others to create Justin.tv, the platform that would eventually become Twitch. Prevailing over that first decade of the 2000s, the issue of digital rights was hardly an under-the-radar topic. Musicians, writers, artists, and their respective industries, then and now, are stumbling over themselves to try to keep up with technology and understand how distribution has changed definition, as it seems to do so almost on a daily basis. So, when the argument is made, "Remember that YouTube case where the judge ruled that the music in the background was fair use? Yeah, bruh, that. And that's why it's okay, bruh. Because the music's in the background, bruh. As a potential pass, you might want to know that that case was not about a live stream that lasted for hours, but a 29-second video that was uploaded to YouTube in 2007 and then ruled in the Court of Appeals in 2015. Sheer being at the heart of the content creation and online streaming media industry would have known this, and yet Twitch is consistently and constantly caught off guard by this. The real question, especially in light of the Metallica gaffe, is what now? What are the options before us as content creators? What should we be doing? Well, one thing we need to do is start actively seeking out stream-safe music. Emerging from the fallout of Twitch's fumbles have been indie artists and music labels all offering their works in good faith and freely in order to expand their brands and maybe even win over a few fans. Chill Hop Radio and Harris Heller are both terrific examples and options out there for streamers. And the aforementioned T-Pain is working on his own stream-safe music service. Twitch is also developing partnerships with Monstercat and SoundCloud so streamers can access their music libraries. The details of those partnerships, namely earning an affiliate status on purchase of a gold membership, have received scrutiny from the Twitch community, but they are options nonetheless. Before you ask about Soundtrack by Twitch, which was supposed to be a Spotify-like solution to the problem, I was on the beta testing team for that, and my assessment, it's a work in progress, not quite ready for prime time. If the offered stream-safe music isn't your jam, then maybe consider another option of cutting the umbilical cord between stream and backdrop music. There are some truly incredible compositions for what we play. Whether it is the sweeping epic score of Destiny, the guitar and banjo riffs of The Last of Us, or the gentle music found in indie options like Soul or Untitled Goose Game, composers are creating scores for video games that rival cinematic releases. You might even find yourself enjoying the game that much more as you're playing to music originally intended for gameplay. For non-game streams, the silence can be a bit intimidating, which may compel you to reconsider the stream-safe music options that covered earlier. But you might also find a newfound confidence level in the content you're creating. Your mileage may vary. Another option we as content creators should consider relies heavily on my preferred platform. Push Twitch to action. During a pandemic, when audiences are actively seeking out new content, Twitch needs to take more responsibility for fixing this. They cannot rely on game developers to commission stream-safe music, because game developers already have a lot on their to-do list. Making a game that works should take priority over commissioning stream-safe music. Twitch, and let's go on ahead and team up here, YouTube, all need to take a more aggressive stance and take this issue to the lawmakers directly. The DMCA was written and passed in 1998, years before YouTube and Justin.tv went live. Technology has changed a lot across 2 decades. Our laws should reflect that. That's going to take influence, and Twitch has got that. Now, yes, that is a huge expectation to make of a streaming platform, but when one of the world's biggest content providers buys you for nearly $1 billion, maybe, just maybe, those expectations should be set high. And as we mentioned it, how about we address that 970 million pound elephant in the room? Amazon, who purchased Twitch in 2014. This just feels like a no-brainer. Allow Twitch affiliates and partners alike access to Amazon's music library. With the amount of integration that currently exists between Twitch and Amazon, this could be a quick fix. Resources, however, seem more dedicated to pay-to-play Twitch affiliate plans like the aforementioned SoundCloud and Monstercat options. Then you've got channel point predictions, which compel people to stay at a channel longer, generating more revenue for Twitch. And then you have all these in-platform promotions, which seem less beneficial for the streamer and more for Twitch. Why can't Twitch broker a music deal? Facebook did just that for their Facebook gaming partners with such labels as Warner Music Group, Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, and BMG Publishing. It just feels like the OGs of content creation have been stumbling and bumbling over this reoccurring problem, swift to shift responsibility to anyone else other than themselves. Being the innovators and the pioneers of streaming media, it's time for Twitch to step up and make this right. It may seem I am laying a lot at the feet of Twitch, but let's be honest. This is some kind of monster they have created. They need to do better by us as streamers. Otherwise, for the platform, it could be a very slow fade to black. So if you like what you've seen, yes, you could hit the subscribe button. Yes, you could hit the like button. Or you could hit the like and subscribe button and then join me on Twitch. But I do hope that you tell a friend about this channel too. There will be more to come, but right now this is my first step. But if you want to find out more resources or information about what we've been talking about, check out the description section. And while you're there, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. I'm T. Morris. Enjoy the ride.